Hello, this is Mike from Urban Legends and Conspiracies. Welcome to a new segment we are doing on the show called 5-Minute Mythologies. This new segment or sub-series will primarily focus on urban legends, mythologies, and folklore, where I do not have enough source material to really turn those into full episodes, so they will be standalone mini episodes. On this episode, we travel to Hawaii, where we meet the infamous Night Marchers. The Night Marchers are ghosts of ancient Hawaiian warriors. They were the vanguard for a sacred king. It is said on the nights honoring the Hawaiian gods Kane, Ku, Lono, or on the nights of Kanaloa, they rise up from their burial sites or they rise up from the ocean in order to march in a large group to ancient Hawaiian battle sites or sacred locations. The legend states that these warriors come fully dressed for battle. They carry their clubs, their spears. Some of them are beating on war drums, and some of them are blowing in conch shells in order to announce the advancing of their march. According to the myth, they're actually suspended in air above the ground. Their feet do not touch the water, nor do they touch the ground as they traverse for the night. So they leave no sign or no evidence of their visitations. It is said that they march in darkness after sunset, and they march as a group continuously until just before sunrise. Anyone living along their path may hear chanting, the sounds of blown conch shells, the marching noises in the night, but the definitive sign is a foul, musky, death-like odor and the torches that get brighter and brighter as the night marchers get closer and closer. Ancient Hawaiian beliefs state that any mortal looking upon these night marchers or who are being seen to be in defiance of these night marchers will die a violent death. Barriers that are placed in the path of the marchers will not deter them. Some people maintain that if you come across these night marchers, what you must do is lie face down on the ground, show them fear, show them respect, and they may leave you alone. However, your best chance of not being, let's just say, eliminated by these night marchers is to be a native Hawaiian who is fortunate enough to have one of his ancestors amongst this procession. As they encounter the person, that ancestor will call out Nau, which means mine in Hawaiian. With that being said, no one in the warrior procession will harm them. Now, different night marches are different. They are actually customized to the tastes of the honored warrior leader or chief or king. For example, a chief or a king that was known to be fond of music would be honored with much drumming and chanting, the blowing of the conch. However, maybe a warrior that preferred silence or peace and quiet, that march would be dead, silent, out of respect for his tastes. Now, the legend states that in ancient Hawaiian lore, the laws declared that the body parts of the king or chief were to be sacred and not to be seen by a mortal. The punishment for looking at the king's body is always instant death, usually by the result of bolts of light or intense heat originating from the warrior's eyes, which would vaporize the mortal. Of course, interesting side note, given the fact that Hawaii is a volcanic landscape with active volcanoes, it would possibly make sense that this death by burning or vaporization would exist, especially considering the religious associations with volcanoes on the Hawaiian Islands. And speaking of the gods and goddesses, it is said that when a god or a goddess attends these night marches, that the torches burn a little brighter to signify their presence. Now, there are many sites that these night marchers will walk to across the entirety of the Hawaiian Islands. There are many battle sites across the islands. We have to remember that the islands weren't unified until King Kamehameha came along and united the islands in 1795. And this is a deeply religious warrior culture, so it makes perfect sense that a mythology or legend such as the Night Marchers would exist on these islands and in this culture. Now, with that being said, I am in no way an expert on Hawaiian religion or Hawaiian culture. However, I did find this little tidbit of their culture fascinating, probably because it's so relatable considering ghost stories surrounding battlefields today, especially here in the United States, because we are to this day telling tales of the ghostly soldiers of Gettysburg or other ghostly soldiers that might pop up in various places around the country, especially from the Rev War and the American Civil War. I mean, who hasn't heard of the story of the young fallen soldier who is still standing at his post, or the warriors who are still celebrating their victories in the afterlife? It kind of pops up across all cultures, given the fact that we are very warlike creatures. However, on that note, I think I will end it there. Tell me what you might think of the Night Marchers. And once again, this is 5 Minute Mythologies, and I thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.